All right. So this is that particular trade on GBP USD, which I took last Friday, and it moved in my favor though, but it still made me a terrible loss. Yes, a terrible loss, and I will explain why. Okay. So before I step into the details of this particular trade, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do well to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos like this one. Okay. So yes, without wasting much time, this particular trade, what was I thinking about? What did I see? What convinced me to take this trade? And how did I end up making a terrible loss, even though it moved in my favor? I'm going to be showing you guys real quick. So, real quick, let's start from the higher time frame, H4. All right. So, the H4 is my intraday higher time frame. Let's try to find out what I was looking at that's convinced me to take this particular trade over here. So first things first, higher time frame, I have a beautiful high that created a beautiful low. By now, you guys should know that before you take any trade, you should have a working range. Okay, a high that created a low or a low that created a high. So right after that, what confirms the high and the low for me is this break of structure over here. So every valid break, every valid high and low, or every valid swing leg has a break of structure to your left. Very, very simple. So I have that. Then real quick, I also have this POY from here, which is an H4 point of interest. All right. Now, right from this H4 point of interest, you guys can see, I mean, this is the tree, right? So if you're looking at this, you can see that price has tapped into an H4 point of interest. And with a higher time frame story, I was expecting price to just, drop, and clear this low. Somebody will ask me, why weren't you looking at this guy? Is because sometimes when price moves from a higher time frame POI, I assume that there is so much strength that it could just go ahead and blow through every lower time frame POI. That's what I assume. Apart from that, I don't know if you guys can see this, but looking at this guy over here, I consider this as an Asian low. I mean, just standing on this particular time frame. Okay, that is an Asian low. So I was looking at price to just sweep it and then go ahead and sweep this low as well. Okay, especially when this PUI, this lower time frame PUI, is also on its way to like clear a higher time frame target liquidity. This particular low over here is what I call a target liquidity. All right. So all these two things were, I mean, this the fact that this was an Asian low and then this is a target liquidity, and then the fact that we're also coming from a higher time frame PUI convinced me that we should blow through. That was all. That was my higher time frame thoughts. Nothing crazy. Okay. So now, once I've seen this, let's step onto intraday. Let's try to find out what the intraday was saying. So on the intraday time frame, everybody can see a low that created a high and a low that created a high. Now, this was where I made a mistake. You're going to realize that from the higher time frame, the H4 that I showed you earlier, this particular low was actually the Asian low. But stepping down, this guy is not actually the Asian low. The Asian low is here. It has already been swept. But, it is what it is. There is nothing I can do about it. I've already taken the L. But then let's try to learn something from this, okay? Good. So now, what can I see? Like I said, intraday, we have a low that created a high. We have broken structure, which means that I was expecting price to drop all the way to the downside. Very, very simple. So waking up on Friday, I know that there is more room to the downside. And with my higher time frame story, I just wanted to see every low cleared. That's all. All right. So setup is ready. Okay. No stress. The only thing that I need to do is to confirm my daily direction, momentum, and then I look for my entries on lower time frames. Very, very simple. The story was already established on the higher time frames. So waking up, what do I see? A high that created a low, a high that created a low. So you can see that momentum is also in line with the story that I was looking at. The story of we have a low that has created a high, we've broken structure, and I'm expecting a retracement at least, and then even to go ahead and clear the low like I was looking from the higher time frame. So if we've had price giving us this particular momentum confirmation, 1, 2, 3, it already is a plus for me, right? It means I can just drop all the way to the downside. Very, very simple. So now, again, somebody's going to ask me, all right, so Right after this move, why did you now decide to sell from here? Why not sell from here? Why didn't you sell from here? Because this is the high that created the low. So why didn't you sell from here? And you decided to sell from here. What is here? So two things are here, two confluences. The first one is that yes, I understand that people are looking at this guy over here as their POI, but in reality, that's not your POI. So we have different kinds of POIs that you should know. And the one that was presented here was what I call the range POI. Different types of range POIs. This particular one in here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but watch. We had this wick going below. I mean, this particular wick going below this guy over here. And then we push to the top like this, which means this guy was supposed to do this and continue to the top, right? But then price decided to break nicely to the downside. So when this happens, this whole low to the high here becomes your POI. So that's what I call a range POI. So if you're my students, you will know that when it comes to range POIs, we have two ways to treat it, all right? Or two ways to, take a trade from it. If you are comfortable putting your entry here and putting your stop loss there, fine. Other than that, you have to wait for price to tap into the range POI, and then you can step onto lower time frames and take your entry. And that is exactly what I did. And just like I said, there are two things here, not just range POI. The second one is this. I have taught this before. If you watch where price came to, yes, like I said, range POI, but it is also in confluence with what the Asian low retest. So two confluences met for my setup. Very, very simple. Now the only thing left for me is what? Entries. Entries on lower time frames. That's all. So what do I do? I'm going to step onto M1 and look for my entry. Very, very simple. You don't need to stress yourself. You see? So stepping onto M1, first things first, you have to know that this particular time over here is New York. New York session, right? New York open around 12. And as at this time, yes, it was still moving within the New York Open, the first 1 hour of the New York session. So why not? We can look for trades. Very, very simple. So look here. How did I get this entry? The first things first, we can see price doing something like this. High, low, high, low. What am I even saying? Price is making a low, a high, a low, a high, a low. Break, okay, shifted, and then boom, this guy again is supposed to make a push to the top after this break. But then lo and behold, what did he do? It decided to do this. So we've broken once again. All right. So yes, the moment price breaks, I just know that this guy is supposed to hold and push to the top. It failed and then pushed to the downside. So what am I looking for? That is the last bullish point. That's all. So the moment we close this bearish candle and this candle decides to come back to retest this bullish candle, that's my entry. That's all. This is a 7 pip stop loss trade. I just put my stop loss above the structural point over here, this lower time frame. I didn't do this. I could have done that, but I didn't do that because I didn't want trouble. And that was my stop loss, 7 pips, nicely. And I decided, you guys remember the higher time frame story where I was telling you guys that price has tapped into a POI, and so I'm expecting price to go and clear the low. Yes. So the moment I took that entry, I just knew that I'm going to hold this trade all the way to the downside. Full volume. I decided to swing. Full volume. No partials, nothing. I just moved to break even and I just allowed price to flow nicely. So yes, we're floating nicely. Monday came in. I didn't take any trade. I was just allowing price to float. All right. Monday opened. Yes, I was happy. Oh, I knew we are going to continue. And then lo and behold, I didn't know where this came from because when I checked my calendar, there was no news event. Before I realized, I had a notification on my phone. Trump, Donald Trump. That's what I heard. Some people said Donald Trump. I don't know what happened, but then Donald Trump cleared my trade. And that is how I went home with a negative balance, even though price moved like 1:20. 1:20. Guys, 1:20. This is like 119 point something. almost 1:20, and I still went home with a negative balance. That's it. Super, super simple. Even though I made a loss, but I hope you guys understand the whole thought process that I put in place. Higher time frame, giving me a story and a direction. Intraday, also giving me that beautiful, direction for like counter. Okay, first to this low, but like I said, because of the higher time frame, I want to see this low cleared, and then the day on which I took the trade, we have that momentum confirming the direction for me that we wanted to really make the retracement, and then I just step onto lower time frames M1 and made my entry, and I was targeting the lows, and Trump decided to kick me out nicely. Super, super simple. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, leave a like and a comment in the comment section. I'll see you with another insightful video. Cheers.